Hey everybody, Jim from Jim's Coleus and Coleus. Checking in. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope we Coleus are doing well. Heat wave, I guess, all across the globe. Triple digits in many areas. Italy, I know, is getting destroyed. In Greece, all over, and Texas, here at home in the United States. New Jersey, we've been getting some 90-degree days. Again, I'm by the shore, so I'm lucky. I get more moderate temps, and if it's 92 degrees forecast in New Jersey, many times that could be 5 to 10 degrees cooler. But tomorrow it looks like it's going to be in the 90s and very windy, so I may not be setting up my Coleus at the farmers market tomorrow, July 27th, because the winds gusts of 30 miles an hour really wreaks havoc on my Coleus pots and so forth. So I'm going to play it by ear, see how things go. But anyway, summertime, we've been getting so much rain here also, and the heat, fertilizing, the rain and so forth has kind of turned some of my Coleus for the worse. So I'm going to just shoot a quick video. Maybe you can use this as a guide if you're experiencing the same sort of thing. And this is okay. This is part of the process. This is part of the learning and maintenance of having Coleus. So you have to really go with the flow, trim, maintenance, and so forth. Coleus are pretty resilient. So, but there's certain things you have to do. The Coleus are pretty resilient, and these are just a few pointers and some things to look out for. If you're new to Coleus and so forth, you might see, and that's what I'm here for, to help you, to guide you, and to give you more and more information so you learn, and every year you get better and better at it, and before you know it, things will just come naturally to you, and you'll be able to grow beautiful Coleus. So okay, so it's a little bit of a mess. I just trimmed a bunch of these Coleus. I sold a lot of the larger planters last week, but this Saturn rings, I trimmed a whole bunch of leaves. Here's really an example. They started getting some white, kind of washed out a little bit, and I think it's just from too much rain. I mean, I do shelter them over here, and it's really been hot, so and just some wind and so forth. But we've had some torrential rains for the past week, and you know, that's a little bit too much. These are all well drained pots, but my point is, if you find your Coleus, you find some leaves that maybe are discolored, they don't look too good, just trim them. I trimmed a whole bunch, but you see all that new growth coming in. This is really across the board maintenance. All my videos, I try to mention this in each video, just so you learn, so you can apply it to your plants, and that's the trimming. So again, I had some Coleus leaves. You can see this is maybe the result of a lot of sun, and sun will do that also. It may bleach your Coleus. Too much water will lighten it, the color or the vibrancy. Some Coleus will darken too much, like here, or the fishnets will darken, and so there'll be less of the veining and more, there'll be more black. So you have to really experiment with your Coleus over the years, and you know, hopefully this will help you, and maybe move your Coleus to a spot that's perhaps less sunny or more sunny, depending on how they react. Over the years, my Coleus have done very well here, but we've gotten an awful lot of rain. So again, don't be upset if you come out, and I've been very busy this weekend. I wasn't on top of my plants like I wanted to, but I came out this morning and I just trimmed a whole bunch of leaves. Here's an example. Here we go. And again, when you have a larger planter like this, and it gets older, this is a few months old now, all this beautiful foliage is not going to stay crisp. They're always renewing themselves. So You enjoy them as you have, and then when you start to see them wear or get weathered and so forth, trim them and let the new growth come in and replace them. And it will come in really, really fast. By trimming your Coleus, it's just gonna, you know, you're enjoying these Coleus, they're getting larger, but you do have to do that maintenance. Okay, now this time of year, another thing you're going to notice with your Coleus are these little buds. What are these little buds? Now these are the seed stalks. So now you have to make a decision on what you want to do with your plant. So I have two large Defiance Coleus plants. Now this one is not going to seed yet. It's thriving, it looks really, really good. And this other one, which I just showed you, it's starting to go to seed. And as it goes to seed, what's going to happen is it's going to start to look like, you know, drawn out. It's not going to look as healthy. Because when your Coleus, or any Coleus starts going to seed, this takes a lot of energy and nutrition out of the plant. So you're going to get less of a healthy plant. It's going to signal the downfall. In nature, it renews itself. So having your seed stalks develop is going to downfall your plant. It's going to, you know, your Coleus is going to start to decline. So if you are not interested in having seeds, if you're not interested in harvesting seeds, then what you do is pinch these Coleus, pinch these little seed stalks, buds in as you see them. Now I'm not going to pinch this off because this plant here, I'm going to separate now. I don't have any other Coleus right here that is going to seed, so we're going to keep it here for now anyway. But my point is that this Coleus I'm going to use for my harvesting because I do want to collect Defiance seeds. So again, if you're not interested in harvesting seeds, keep track of your Coleus, pinch the little buds, the little seed stalks off as you see them. I actually read an article last year about Coleus flower stalks. I'm going to show you one that's a full Coleus seed stalk, and they have the little pink flowers. So let me show you real quick, and then I'll fill the details in. Okay, let me have a seat here. I'm tired. I have to work tonight. I'm tired. I work overnight. I work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Anyway, here's a beautiful colossal marble mixture with that pink, and I've gotten quite a few of these going to seed, which is great. So the offspring will be as it was last year, the same. But this here, look at, they're already getting pollinated. Here is your Coleus seed stalk and your little flowers, which are obviously going to attract the pollinators. So now this plant is obviously declining because of the seed stalks. Now it's not dying, but you can see it's definitely losing some leaves, but we're letting it go to seeds because, again, I have a whole bunch of these and I'm going to have a whole bunch of seeds. So we're going to let this to continue, but this is what your seed stalks will look like. Well, what my point was earlier is that article I read about how people, there's like the argument, you know, is this part of a Coleus? Is this the beauty of a Coleus? How some people find this to be attractive, which they're flowers, and you know, is it okay to leave these beautiful flowering stalks on your Coleus? And that's, again, that is a preference, but remember that the more of these seed stalks that start to come in, the more your plant is going to look drawn out and it's going to decline. It's not going to look as vibrant or beautiful because the energy is getting diverted. A lot of energy is getting diverted to develop these seed stalks, to maintain them, to continually grow, because they want to keep growing. They'll keep growing taller and taller and taller and taller. So you can see that the new ones is just continuing in. So you know, I let them grow to a certain height and then I'll start snipping them off, because I want to promote others. And also at this point, what I do is I switch over to this just for my Coleus that are starting to develop seed stalks. This is a bloom booster. It's higher in the phosphorus, and this will promote the flowering seed stalks. This will promote the seed stalks, and I'll get more seeds, yield more seeds. You can see seed stalk coming in there. So all of the plants that I have throughout my property separated, I hit, at this point in time, I'll start hitting with this bloom booster, because I want to get as many seed stalks going. I want to get as much seed as possible. But if you're not interested in harvesting Coleus seeds, then I suggest you, again, snip your seed stalks as they come in. And the larger the plant, the more seed stalks will more than likely show up, and you'll find it hard sometimes to keep up, because they come in, they can be pretty aggressive. Perfect example, here's this Empire Kong Coleus, and you can see we got seed stalks coming in everywhere. I got seed stalks everywhere, and which is good, because Empire Kongs are one of my favorite sellers. They're really one of the most hardy Coleus. So you can see I got seed stalks coming in like mad, and that's good, because I'll have plenty of Empire Kong Coleus seeds for sale on my eBay listing coming up in October. So at different levels of development, and they'll start showing up triple, 3 or 4 at a time coming in. Empires, these can really be aggressive seed stalks. So again, if you're not interested, just snip them. If you are interested in getting your own seeds, just let them grow. If you kind of like the seed stalks, but you don't want to, and you don't want to really harvest seeds, then you can leave 1 or 2 seed stalks going. It's not going to really do major damage to your plant, but in general, seed stalks will trigger the natural cycle that the end of the Coleus life is near, and it's time to regenerate. And that's why they're actually considered perennials in the wild, because they reseed themselves naturally. So as you can see, I have these here going to seed, and we'll just continue to let them seed. I'm not going to trim them yet. I'm going to let them and again, I have videos on when it's time to trim your Coleus seed stalks, let them develop, let them get pollinated, so we have really nice mature seeds. And again, I'll be getting into that soon, but you can actually see the round little dark circles there. That's the seed pod. So these are pretty much, these are mature, because this has been seeding for a while, this plant. These are pretty aggressive seeders. So but that's your seeds right there. There's your black seeds, the little pods. So stay tuned if you're interested in harvesting Coleus seeds. I do have videos. You can go back into my library, or wait until I do harvest the seeds. I'll have detailed videos on how to do that, and how to know when to cut your seed pods, or your seed stalks rather, and how to dry them out and harvest them and so forth. So stay tuned here for that. So I just trimmed a whole bunch, again, going back, I just trimmed a whole bunch of damaged leaves and so forth, just naturally. There's still some more. You're always going to find some more. There's always going to be something. These big monsters like this here, I just pull them off. give the bottom growth some more, a chance to fill in. And again, it's really hot, very, very hot and humid here today. It's close to 90, not 90, it's in really the upper 80s, but it's a little tough on these, on Coleus. You know, it's definitely very, very hot, humid weather, and potted Coleus can really draw them out. So you just have to maintain them, water them. You might have to water them twice a day, in the morning, and when they wilt and so forth, and water them. And again, during sustained heat waves, I don't recommend you fertilize them, because fertilizing during heat waves will cause the plant to grow beyond the roots control, really, how, you know, beyond what the roots can do to maintain the plant. You'll be, you know, the growth will be just so fast. So this is really how I maintain it, and this is just a guide for you. This is basically how I maintain my Coleus through the summer, to make sure they look as fresh as possible. And you know, it can be a little daunting when you have a lot of Coleus, but I make do. I know what I have to do, and I don't get stressed out about it. And each season is a little different. Each season is different. Each season the weather is different here. Maybe hotter, more rain, less rain, more humid, less humid. So I really just learn from each year and know how my Coleus react. And over the years, as you do this more and more, you get more and more knowledge and more experience on how to handle this and how to grow your Coleus and so forth, what you need to do, what not to do, and so forth. And you can do that by following along here, checking back, looking through my long list of videos. I have plenty of videos from last year. I have about 400 videos. Take a look through some of my videos from last summer in anticipation of what may be ahead for you. And again, I'll be keeping up as the summer progresses. And any questions, of course, just feel free to leave a comment. Hey, before I close, I just wanted to show you, this is that Lord Voldemort. Remember the 3 long, leggy, barely alive looking trees? Those cuttings, the 3 Lord Voldemort cuttings that I planted in this pond? Look at this now. Is this a healthy Coleus or what? Now I'm trying to get some seed stalks, but this has always been very, very stubborn. Some Coleus are aggressive seeders, others are very, very late. And this, just like fishnets, have always been extremely late in developing seeds. So I just hit it with the bloom booster and hope that I get some seeds. I did get a handful of seeds last year, and I kept lots of rootings. This will be, we'll handle it the same way this year, unless I get lucky and get a whole bunch of seed stalks. But even so, I like keeping rootings, cuttings. I will certainly cut a bunch of these stems and keep rootings for next year as well. So this is the offspring of a Lord Voldemort Coleus that I purchased, I forget where I got it, about 4 or 5 years ago. And I just keep it going with rootings, with cuttings, which is really neat. That's another fascinating thing about Coleus. You can just keep going and going and going. Or if you want, or if I wanted to, I can just keep cutting these now and make a whole bunch of smaller pots, which I may do still. I may cut a couple of these and keep an overwintered Lord Voldemort. I get a lot of comments, questions about whether or not I keep overwintered Coleus. I really don't, for a number of reasons. I spend so much time through the spring, over the summer, caring for Coleus, 600 Coleus. It's a lot of work, and I really like to take a break. So I'll keep a small handful of overwintered Coleus. Primarily I keep the cuttings, and this is one of my top candidates for cuttings. What a beautiful, beautiful Coleus. Okay, buddy, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was informative and helped you out. Don't stress out. Don't get worried if your Coleus starts to look like it's declining a little bit and so forth. I showed you some reasons why. Trim it, fertilize it, water them regularly. Don't overwater them. If you're getting a whole bunch of rain, I mean, if you're getting lots and lots of rain, maybe, and you're concerned, maybe you can shelter them a little bit. But yeah, again, I hope I gave you some practical pointers and tips on how to take care of your Coleus through the summer at this point in time. So, okay, so thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing. Pass my channel on, and stay tuned. There'll be more coming up. Jim's Holiest of Coleus. Take care.